Over the past year, I've used one Claude AI workflow to generate over $34,000 in revenue, not from selling a course, not from dropshipping or selling PDFs, from actual clients, all powered by Claude doing 80% of the heavy lifting. And I just used the same workflow to build a completely new business from scratch that's already made $3,900 so far. In this video, I'm going to break down every single step. I call it PACE, how to find the right people to sell to, how Claude builds the outreach, how it handles the production, and how the whole thing compounds over time. Let's get into it. And now let's start from all the mistakes that people make and what doesn't really work, especially if you are just getting started. So what doesn't work is if you just sell digital products, you want to use Claude to build digital products, PDFs, landing pages, and you want to convince people to buy from you, although you have no experience, you don't really know if the idea you are selling is really something that people are looking for, and you don't have proof of concept. So this is the first trap that many people fall into. On YouTube, you can see a lot of videos and people say, oh, you need to sell this kind of PDFs, you need to sell AI art, stuff like that. But they don't tell you the whole truth. And in a few minutes, I'll mathematically prove that they are wrong and that it's very difficult to get started in this way and make money in this way, but we will get into it a little bit later. So this is the first trap. Now, the second trap is to use Claude or ChatGPT or any other AI for random tasks. And many people will do it. They'll just use Claude for tweets, brainstorming questions, never connecting to real revenue. So the truth is, if you want to sell content or you want to sell services that are not really moving a needle in a business or are not really producing ROI for people, your offer will be commoditized very quickly. That's why there are so many editors, thumbnail designers, people that can do great things, they have great experience, and yet they struggle. They struggle because they sell something that doesn't produce real value. They will tell you, oh, my video editing, my thumbnails make your video go viral, or that you finally get more leads. But this is not true. This is not what is responsible for generating revenue in businesses. This is a cherry on top. Let's say if you have a good video idea and you package it correctly, you will get more views. But if you have a bad video idea but great editing, great thumbnails, it will still not work. So this is a big difference. Like, you can have the best editing in the whole world, the best thumbnails, but if the fundamentals are not there, you will not grow anyway. And this is the trap that many people fall into, even big creators. 2 days ago, I had a conversation with a guy who had 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we are talking about a cooperation and how I can help his channel grow. And he was complaining about his editing style and that he thinks he needs to change his editing style or basically his visual styles during the video because he is not going viral and he's not getting views. And I basically told him that, well, this is not where the problem lies. The problem is that you're recording videos about something that people don't really want to see, or it's too many videos about this topic already, so people don't want to watch it. It's very simple. And let me give an example to prove it. So let's say you want to sell fax machines. No one is using these anymore. People prefer to have an iPhone. So if you have this fax and you package it perfectly, you have a great box, great thumbnail, great title, it doesn't really matter. You can say the best fax in the whole world, whatever. You will not sell it because people don't want to buy it. Maybe some people that like to collect all things will buy it, but this is an exemption. Most people will not be interested to buy a fax machine. However, if you're selling an iPhone, if it's a new iPhone, used iPhone, people are willing to buy because everyone wants to have an iPhone. Obviously, there are some people that don't, but the majority of people want to have an iPhone. So this is exactly the same when it comes to content. If you record a video about a topic that people want to see, you will get views even if you have no editing whatsoever. However, if you record about something that people don't want to watch, well, even the best editing in the whole world will not move a needle. And how I know it's true? Because I have another client, and this client, all he is doing is he is recording just videos about topics that are important in the United States, that are concerning to general public, and he is getting 70 to 80,000 views on those videos. And those videos is like him sitting and talking for 30 minutes about one thing, about this topic that is concerning people. He is an expert in this niche, obviously, so he knows what he is talking about, but this is all he is doing. He has just questions and he's answering those questions on a video. There is no editing. Sometimes he will just use a screenshot of like a law or something like a headline of a newspaper, something like that, but that's it. And he's just sitting and talking for 30 minutes and he has 70,000 views on his video. Why? Because he's recording about a topic that is in demand and there is not enough supply. This is what the game is about. Long story short, this is not what you should do. The real opportunity is selling services to businesses using Claude as your back office. So now let me show you why selling all these PDFs and all these AI art or AI generated documents doesn't really work. So here is the difference. The old way, people are selling, let's say, all these products for $10, so they need 1,000 people to make $10,000. This is quite a lot. It's not that easy. And to be honest, people think, oh, if I have ads, if I have YouTube channel, I can sell it. Yes, you do. But do you have a big enough YouTube channel to sell it? Do you build your YouTube channel enough so people trust you enough to buy? Because going viral and making people pay is completely different thing. So this is not that easy to sell 1,000 packages or 1,000 PDFs for $10 to make $10,000. However, the new way is you can have 4 clients that pay you $2,500 per month and you're making $10,000 per month. And now here is one more thing that people will not tell you about. Here, this is what you have here. You need to repeat it every single month to make this $10,000. However, here, when you have your clients once and he signs, now it's up to you whether he will be paying you every single month. So if you deliver the right kind of service and they value your service, they see positive ROI, they are happy, they'll be paying you every single month. And there are niches that are better for that and there are niches that are worse for that. We'll talk about it in a second. But if you find the right client, this person can stay with you for the whole year. So now if you have just 4 clients like that, you're making $10,000 per month, you're not taking new clients, and you're making more money than most people in your country, whether you're in the US, UK, or in it doesn't really matter where. So this is a big difference. And let me tell you this, convincing a business to pay you $2,500 per month is not a big problem. I know some people say, but it's difficult. It's not, you just never did it before. I remember my first sales call when I was running my lead generation agency, and I was on a call with a business that was making, I think it was $50 million per year. And I had a call, and during this call I said that to get started, I didn't have any case studies, nothing. I just said to get started, I need $500 in setup fee. So basically it means to build a system for them. They are not getting any leads, any service from it. And after that, they'll be paying me $200 per every lead that I book on their calendar. And they paid on the spot. They paid it immediately because this $500 was nothing for them. So they paid it, and it happened again, but the next time it was just a guy from a small marketing agency. I think they were hiring like 5 or 6 people. And I said on call, okay, so the setup fee was $1,000 and every call was $200. Again, he said, okay, let's do it. And during the call, he just paid. So we've seen each other for the first time. It was our first conversation ever. He've never seen me before. I've never seen him before. And during this conversation, it was 30 minutes, I believe. And during this short conversation, I convinced him that I will be the right person to help him with getting more clients. So he paid immediately. So this is a big difference. These people have money and they understand that I need to invest money in order to make money. So if your offer makes sense, if you really care about your prospects and you want to really help them, people will feel it, they will see it in your offer, and then they will keep paying you. And you can keep this client, for example, for 6-12 months, and you're lowering your cost of acquisition quite significantly, and they pay you every single month. This is probably the easiest and the best model ever. So as I mentioned, you will get recurring revenue, which is great. Here you have no recurring revenue. Clients will stick for longer and you have less churn, which is perfect. Most businesses struggle with that because their services are not good enough, and they are just thinking about getting new clients, so they live in this model instead of in this model where you actually take care of your clients. So then, I don't onboard that many clients. I have only 4 or 5 spots that I can fill, and once this is filled, I don't take any more clients. And this is for me completely enough to make money. And I don't want to have 50 or 60 clients. Maybe at some point it will change, but I will need more people, more team members. So I think it's just better to keep these 4 or 5 clients by myself, do all the service by myself with just AI and let's say 1 assistant, and keep 90% of this money for myself instead of just, let's say, leaving 50% of the money on the table because I want to have more clients, so I need to obviously invest more money. So it really depends on you. I prefer to have higher margins, fewer clients, and work with them for a longer time. So now, what is the framework? The framework helps you with planning, acting, converting, and expanding. So each step is a little bit different. There are 12 prompts or 12 skills that will help you with each step. So first, you need to find your niche, research it. Then you need to act. So you need to produce content. You need to produce. You need to generate sales pages, stuff like that. Basically, things that will show that you're a real big deal. Then convert, so you need to reach out to these businesses, and then obviously expand. So expand is actually what I do on YouTube right now. I document my journey, I show what I'm doing, I show how I do it, and this is the whole framework that is building your business in the long run. So first, obviously, is plan. You need to research, find your niche and script. So obviously in this whole document, we have prompt for that as well. So for example, here you can see this is the first prompt. Obviously, all these prompts are available in the description if you would like to get it. So make sure to check the link if you would like to get all of them. So this is the prompt. You just copy the whole prompt. You head over to Claude, and in Claude you just use this prompt. And then what is important is that you need to change a few things. So obviously here you need to paste a few sentences describing what you've built, achieved, or solved in your life or career. And this is very important. I cannot tell you what you should do, what kind of services you should sell, because it needs to come from you. And I'll give you a few examples of skills, and I'll use my own examples. So a few businesses that you can see here, I'll show you what skills were needed to make it really work. So here you can see I was selling products on Shopify. These were digital products. And here is how I made with this Shopify store, over $200,000. And I was to make it work, I needed a few skills. First, obviously, I needed to know how to create this shop. With Shopify, it was quite easy. Then, obviously, I needed to know how to run ads. So the most important skill was to run ads, so I can pay less to acquire a customer. Obviously, I need to have enough margins to cover my expenses and be profitable. So with this shop, my profit margins, because these were quite good products, my profit margins, even in the worst time, were at least 60%, which is quite good for e-commerce. My friend that is selling similar things has profit margins of 10, 20, or 30%. So 60% profit margin on this kind of product is quite good. And this is why I was able to generate quite a lot of sales while using ads to acquire customers and then sell them later if they, let's say, for Christmas, stuff like that. So here you can see ads. This is the first skill. Now here we have the second skill, where I was basically running my lead generation agency. So there are a few skills needed. I was not using ads, but I was using cold email. So the first skill is obviously to know how to run cold email. So how to use software, how to use AI to help you, and how to close it all together, how to generate leads. So basically how you got the how to get lead lists, and how to combine everything together, and how to obviously book calls for these businesses. So there are quite a few skills, but you can acquire those skills, I would say, in a matter of a week if you are really determined and you have the right source. There are many people that are really good at cold email, and they can teach you on YouTube or whatever else. If you really want to have a shortcut, just invest in like a coaching that they have or course. It will teach you everything that you need to know, and you can start right away. So it was working very well, and this was this business that was running here, and results were speaking for themselves. So I was able to get $24,000 for one business in 30 days. And here was another example, $40,000 with 2 deals and 14 calls booked on his calendar. So again, I knew how to make it work, and I was still starting from scratch, and I was learning those skills when I just launched this agency. So we can learn while you are just doing the thing. Now, there are a few businesses, obviously, when you have digital products, like for example, here, it's the same skill like I had here. So it's basically advertising, generating traffic, things like that. Then I had sales calls mostly for this lead generation agency. So the sales calls, you need to have skills like, for example, sales. You need to know how to sell without being pushy, more like being your friend. So this is kind of difficult, I would say, or maybe easy. It depends on your personality. So it really depends on you. Like, for example, on YouTube, my skill is definitely not speaking slowly. I speak too fast, and many people say this in comments that I speak too fast, but this is how I speak. It doesn't really matter. What I'm not afraid is to show my face, speak on a camera, but it was not always in this way. So my first YouTube channel, when I was just getting started, with every video I was recording, I was quite nervous, and you can see these videos were not very professional. I was somewhere outside recording, but nevertheless, it was enough. I had a skill. So if you're just getting started, you're recording, you don't need to be very experienced, but you need to have skill in something. Like for example, here I was teaching people how to trade cryptocurrencies, what are cryptocurrencies, all these kind of things. And my experience made it all work. My videos were very basic. This is one where I was outside. Then I started recording videos at home, or just sitting on the sofa and talking about cryptocurrencies, about investing in many things. As you can see, even the beginning is not that great, where it was like this break. So I wasn't that great, but again, I was recording my videos. I was showing cryptocurrencies. I just had experience in this niche. So this is what you need to have. Like whatever you do, you just need to have experience. The same with my second YouTube channel. Obviously, my packaging is better. The topic is different because now it's AI tools and how to monetize them, stuff like that. But again, the same skills apply. The thing that you're not afraid to be on camera, and that you accept that not everything has to be perfect. You just need to know what you're doing, right? That's pretty much it. So I showed you a few skills, but skills that were helping me with this AI business was, again, this, what I'm doing on YouTube. So basically, how to present everything, how to record videos, not being afraid to be on a camera. Then obviously sales, because people are reaching out to me and they wanted to promote their products on my YouTube channel. So this is another skill. And then obviously teaching other people how to do the same what I'm doing. And this is not that difficult. You just again need to have experience, and this is pretty much it. So these are the skills that I had, and you can do the same thing if you just use this framework that I have here, or basically this workflow. So this workflow, again, you can get it in the description. This is the workflow that helped me make over $34,000 with AI. So this is everything that I know. You will use Claude AI for pretty much all the job, because the truth is it's not the most difficult part to create all these things. It just speeds up the whole process. The most important part is that you stay in one niche. For example, we have Charlie Morgan, right? Charlie was running an agency and he was very good at it. And he was showing his experience, right? So his videos were never very polished. He's just sitting, talking to the camera, very simple format. And because of that, he's not going like super viral. He doesn't have, let's say, millions of views, but he's making a lot of money. At a certain point, he was making, let's say, $500,000 per month. So what separates him from everyone else? The thing that he was doing, the thing he wasn't only talking about running an agency, but he was actually doing it, right? He was outreaching people. I also got message from someone from his team. It was quite interesting to get this message. So this is what he was doing. The same with Alex Hormozy. He is doing the same thing over and over again, and this is what will make you win in the long term. You need to stick with one niche and become number one in this niche. That's why one of the prompts in this workflow helps you with finding in what niche you can become a number one or top 1% of your niche. As you can see here, you want to identify 3 potential YouTube niches, or basically YouTube businesses or businesses outside of YouTube, that you could realistically enter the top 1%. This is the thing that most people don't really understand. You need to enter a niche where you can become a master. You don't want to enter a niche that is already saturated. And I know that most of the niches are saturated, but some of them are oversaturated. Let's say if you are recording videos on YouTube, and I know this from my own experience, and you show people how to grow on YouTube, right? It'll be very difficult for you to grow. So now you need to ask yourself, what kind of business I can start easily and people really need those services. So ideally you reach out to businesses that work either in B2C, which is business to consumer, or B2B, and based on that, you need to know what are the problems. Most businesses have problems with the same thing, which is basically generating leads, generating revenue, or reducing the churn rate, right? So this is basically the 3 biggest problems most businesses have, and you need to find out what is the number 1 problem that your niche has. Then you just need to see if you can find a solution for it. If you can, people will pay because it's a problem that they have. If you sell something that people don't really need or doesn't really help anyone, you will not make money. Let me give you an example. I know many people that sell software, whether it's SaaS, whether it's done for you solutions or software developers, and I will tell you this: most of them have very hard time selling anything. Why? Because the offer that they send to people, whether it's cold email, whether it's YouTube, whatever it is, they say, hire us, we'll make application for you, we'll design your website, we'll do that. And a business owner is like reading this email, is like, so you cannot help me with anything. You don't know what problems I have, and people don't have time to think, oh, maybe this company could help me with this specific problem that I have. People don't think like this. Businesses don't think like that. So what you need to do is to find one niche, understand this niche, and then create a solution. And the solution doesn't matter what it is. It might be a service, it might be software, it might be a course if your audience is buying courses. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that the problem is solved, because people don't care about the product. They only care about their problem being solved. And how you do it is up to you. If you convince them that it works, they will invest in your solution. So you can even hand out flyers on the street. If that works for example, for them reducing churn or getting more leads or sales, people will invest. They just need to see that if they invest $1 with you, they're making, let's say, $2 or $10 ideally back. And that's all it is. So if you're reaching out to businesses, you can start with just your own email. For example, what I was using for a very long time was just my own email. You can see here, you find businesses, you reach out to them, and how you find them, you can use a few different things. For example, one of them is Apollo, another one is Clay, but Apollo is a very good source of leads. I was using Apollo for years, really, with my first lead generation agency, and I'm still using them. The leads quality is good, but you just need to make sure that you verify them after downloading. Don't just send out emails to them, because a lot of them will be inboxes that are not valid anymore. So you want to verify them yourself, but this is what you can do. Another option is obviously to use Instantly, and Instantly is great for a few reasons. First, you can warm up your inboxes here, as I'm warming up just 2 inboxes right now because I don't need a lot of volume. I have great offer, so when I just send email, it will work. You can also see statistics, how your inboxes are being warmed up, so this is great. And you can also get leads here. So Instantly also gives you access to lead list. It's not as complex as Apollo's lead list, but if you're on a budget, you can start with, let's say, the lowest tier that they have here and use their search base to find emails. And you can also use Claude to do the same thing. What you can do is use Claude, and what you can do is, let's say you want to find a business, let's say Google. Can you find email to an owner or a founder of google.com? Make sure to give me their name too and professional email if possible. So this is all you have to do, and Claude will start looking. And now I will tell you that this is a great method. This is pretty much free. If you have free tier, you can do it with Claude, you can use it with ChatGPT, it doesn't really matter, and it will help you with generating leads. This is how I generated my first lead list for completely free, and I was able to find good quality emails that were basically in this format. So we had name at companyname.com. And in many cases, these emails will work. So this is how you can get started. You just find those emails, you send your offer, and if your offer is good, you'll get good response rates, and then you just send them out and then start working with those people. This is how I made this money here, right? People were testing my services. We are just getting started. So I made some affordable options if someone just want to check my services first. And so far it's going great. I have now recurring revenue, and I'll be scaling it further, so you will be able to see how I scale this company. And I was using this framework that you can download in the description. 12 prompts, this is all you need, your experience, and the one thing that is basically staying in the same niche, because this is super important. Lately I was talking with my friend, he is a lawyer, he's an attorney in the US, and we used to work together in the past, and I see how his business is boring, but in a good way. So he's doing the same thing for over 10 years now. And before he wasn't really good at marketing, he was just an attorney. Right now he has a very strong Facebook presence, Instagram presence, and even a YouTube channel. With his YouTube channel, he recorded 15 videos, and he has already 4,000 subscribers as an attorney. This is a very good result. Many people struggle to get it. He is already here. So he is getting traction, he is getting views, and as I said, video editing is not that important as topic and finding the right ideas. So you want to be like him. You want to stay in one niche for years and just be better, build more connections, build more contacts, and be recognized in this niche. It's not hopping from one niche to another. And this is also the thing that I've done many times. And that was a big problem. I was hopping from one niche to another. And because of that, every time you are losing momentum when you're starting a new niche, because let's say some people will say cold email is dead, crypto is dead. All the things are dead, so you stop doing those things. Obviously, sometimes you need to pivot from one thing to another, but in many cases, you can do the same thing for 20 years and you'll be only getting better and make more money. Also, the same case with my other friend. He has a staffing agency, and he's been running this agency for around 10 years. This company has, I think, 4 directors. Each of them is paying themselves $5,000 per month as a salary, and they decide to pay themselves only that much money because they reinvest the rest of the money, and they keep them in the company so they can invest further. And their company has already around $2 million in cash that they have invested, and they are still paying themselves only $5,000, so they pay lower taxes and stuff like that. So this is more complicated, but this is basically a situation where you want to be. Your company has liquidity, has money, and you're paying yourself this kind of money that is comfortable for your life, and the rest you're investing, building more businesses and stuff like that. So this is obviously a small anecdote, but you want to be top 1% in your niche. So avoid reaching out to businesses that are very established and everyone on YouTube is talking about them. So for example, avoid reaching out to marketing agencies. They are saturated. A lot of companies are reaching out to them, so they will basically try to lower your price. They will be negotiating because they understand marketing very well. Try reaching out to businesses that make a lot of money, they need leads, and find a solution for them, and that nobody is talking about them, but they still make money. Sometimes these boring businesses, they make a lot of money and have a lot of money to invest, but just no one is reaching out to them. So be the first one. Be the first one, dominate this niche, and how boring it wouldn't be, you can be number one in this niche. I don't know, waste disposal. Not many people are thinking about, this kind of businesses, but there's a lot of money to be made there. If you can help them with processes, well, you'll be also making a lot of money. So this is what I want to show you in this video. I'll be updating you on how this journey is going with my new AI powered business and a new target. So right now we made $3,900. If you would like to see how it goes, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment what kind of AI powered business you would like to run. And obviously, if you want to watch more, make sure to watch this video you can see on the screen right now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.